Alright, now that I've gone through the walk, let me explain to you what is going on today. My name is Detective Blevins. This is Detective Martinez. We work in internet crimes against children. So I'm going to explain your rights and all that stuff to you, but I've just found it's a lot easier for me to explain to you what's going on from the beginning. That way you can make an informed decision about what you want to do. Sound fair? So I don't want you to answer any questions. I'm not asking you any questions. I'm just telling you what has brought you here today, what my concerns are, kind of where I hope this goes, and then you can make a decision whether we're going to talk or not today. All right? So what happened is a couple months back, from your phone, there were 3 child porn videos that were uploaded. Those were sent off through Verizon to Homeland Security Investigations. Special agent there went through the whole process of identifying you, identifying the phone, all that stuff. Then, do you remember when you got called about a hit-and-run accident?
Yes.
All right, so that was actually a ruse call. They were able to dump your phone from that to make sure that it was the right phone, that they were talking to the right person and all that stuff. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is, Detective Martinez and I, we work here at Adams County. We do internet crimes against children all the time. I viewed the videos. I don't want you to think that they're good. They're not good. It's 3. I've had people who have thousands. My biggest concern in what I'm trying to decide today in questioning, this isn't meant to sway you one way or the other. It's just to tell you, one, clearly a child lives at your house, so I need to make sure that that is something that I can feel comfortable that, you know, when and if we release you today, that I don't have to worry about kids. I also need to make sure, you know, in my mind, that you're not producing, that you're not, you're not making money off doing any of this stuff, nothing like that. So most of my questions today would center around the case that brought you here, but in all honesty, I mean, that was tens of thousands of dollars that Homeland Security did. By the time it makes it to me, I really don't have a lot of questions because 15 special agents have all gone, here you go. Really, our job is community safety, make sure that, like, yes, all the information is there. Yes, he was honest with us about what happened. No, he's not Adams County's biggest child pornographer, and we don't have to worry about him snatching neighborhood kids. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So, with all that being said, how do you pronounce your first name? I don't want to call you something that...
Armand.
Armand, okay.
And for the tape, the clock, it said at 12:56 is actually 11:55.
Oh. And 1616 East 78, space 78 is your home address, right?
38.
38, yeah. Did I say something else?
Yeah, you said 78.
Ah. Man, it's been one of those days already. And what time did you say it was?
11:55 now.
Remind me of your birth date, Armand.
3/11/1998.
Okay. Do you read and write English?
Yes.
Okay. Do you... I don't even need to say that because we're going to do this in English. You've heard this a million times, but I do have to go over with you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court. You have the right to talk to an attorney, to have any advice before I ask you questions, or to have an attorney with you during questioning. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you before any questioning. These are continuing rights which you may choose to exercise at any time, which means you can elect to talk to me and go, I don't want to answer that, but I'll answer different questions, or you can just go, yeah, I don't think I want to answer these questions. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so the first question is simply, do you understand your rights? If you do understand your rights, I just need you to write yes right there. And then I need a signature. All that says is that you understand your rights. And the second one is, if you're willing to talk to me today to any degree, I need your signature right there. Cool. All right, so I've kind of explained to you what's going on. Are you surprised that we're here today?
Not really.
I didn't. From what the guys that arrested you said, I didn't think so. I've looked at your history, Armand. I mean, I'm not trying to beat you up or anything like that about what's gone on in your past. I know in doing this job for the amount of time that I have, everybody's got a backstory. I really don't know what happened to you. I know that in terms of the law, things just are what they are. But I know that for you, this has been stemming back for lots of years between either cases where you took a plea bargain or you, had something worked out between different groups of parents or whatever, that this seems to me like this has been a problem for you in some form since you've been young. That being said, I know this is a hard question to answer in terms of emotionally it may be hard, but are you a danger to the people? Do you feel like what's going on with you is something that you feel scared that you're going to do something to a child that you know or a child that lives in the neighborhood with you?
No, I do not feel scared that I would do anything to a child.
Okay, so these videos that were on your phone, the ones that initially came through, I'll explain to you how that works. The reason why I do this is because this is all being recorded. This is kind of an opportunity for you, like really your one opportunity, honestly, in this kind of a forum before there's any formal charges that are accepted by the district attorney's office. This is your chance to kind of talk about the whys, not so much the whats are there. The one thing that I've found, I really honestly can't think of a case where this wasn't what happened, is that if there's 3 videos that I know about, because those have already been captured, and just so you know, the charge doesn't go up in Colorado. It's either 20 plus images or 1 video. So already the crime is what it is at the level that it's going to be. This is just a question so that there's going to be a search warrant written for your phone. I can't promise you that it'll be accepted, but I've never had one that wasn't under these circumstances. So that being said, I've never had one where what was captured in one day was all that there is. If you had to guess on how many things are in there, and I ask you this, 1, for your honesty, and 2, so I have an idea when I turn this over to the FBI's lab for analysis, I can give them an idea. Hey, there's probably going to be, 100 images and 25 videos, whatever. And that's really just more so I can give you a good idea of how long I think it will take. And also for an opportunity so that when it comes back, and it is what you said, it kind of supports your telling me, kind of promising me that you're not going to do anything that either one of us is going to regret. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that being said, we already been in your house. SWAT was at your house earlier. Nobody was home. We did see some things from the house as well. An old iPhone. There were some other things in the house, cameras, stuff like that. All of those things when the case is done, we'll get with you later on how to get all these things returned to you. But on your phone or things that are in your house, the one thing that we didn't do is we did not, although we still have the warrant, and we'll talk about this, I did not want to ruin your gun safe. So we will talk about what's in your gun safe later, but just so you know, we didn't, other than like some molding around your door, nothing's broken in the house or anything like that. We didn't destroy your house. And I left the gun safe out like it was. That being said, on your phone or in any kind of storage media in the house, how many videos of child pornography or photos of child pornography would you say that there is?
I do not know.
I mean, can you give me a guess?
Not accurately.
More than 100?
Probably somewhere around there.
And is that videos or pictures that are both?
Both.
Okay. So, and again, please don't feel like I'm beating you up. It's just I understand people are nervous in this. So if you're telling me 100 and it's a combination of both, do you feel like that's the absolute maximum? Again, it's all recorded. It will not change your charges. It doesn't matter if there's 1,000. This is just so that we don't get in there and there are 1,000. So is that the max?
Like I said, I don't know.
Okay. If I said 500, would you say no way? At what number would you go no way?
I honestly don't know.
5,000?
I don't think that's...
Over 1,000. Would you think that that's a no way?
If it's that much, then be repeated.
Okay.
Because I know my phone's weird and I don't go in there often.
And I mean, I know for sure, and I haven't seen the extracted data from the pretext call that you got, so I don't know, because that all goes under a federal thing that I don't deal with. So, I mean, that will all come in, but there'll be a forensic analysis of your stuff anyway. Is the majority of it on your phone, on your cell phone? Was there anything in your house? There's an old Apple phone. There's a camera. There's like it's probably gaming stuff, but maybe some storage media, stuff like that from the house.
I don't think so.
So nothing on your old phone, or is that even your old phone?
It's
an iPhone.
I think the phone's broken. I don't know that I've had it.
Look like a 5, maybe like an SE. Looks like one of the old square ones.
I don't think so.
Okay. And no pictures on the camera.
Oh, camera no.
Okay. So the phone that you had on you is the phone that's going to have maybe at worst you would think, even if it's doubled over, maybe 1,000 images. Do you have those? How do you save them? Again, this is so that we don't have to completely decimate your phone to get this information out of it. Are they in like your videos? Are they in a storage vault? Are they in the cloud? Are they on Kik? Are they on Dropbox? How do you have them?
In my camera, the gallery app.
Mm-hmm.
It's under archive.
Okay. And so I didn't really pay close attention. What phone do you have?
Samsung Galaxy S9.
And it's so that just has biometrics and a PIN code, right? It's not facial recognition.
I think it has an option for that, but I don't have it set up for that.
So you just have the code that you enter?
Yeah.
Okay, what is your code?
I don't feel like I want to give that away right now.
Okay, so what I will do with that piece of it is, and I can show you the warrant. It's actually in the warrant. It says that you have to give me your code, whether it's verbal, written. You can write it down if you want, if you don't want to say it out loud. But if you don't, it's a contempt of court issue. So in other words, a judge has ordered you to give that to us. Now, can I still rip it out? I can, but I don't want to set you up to be in a position where I've got to decide whether or not, and I'll show you a copy of the warrant if you want to see it.
I would like to see that.
Okay, I'll show you. It's this paragraph right here. So you're commanded by a judge, and there's the stuff about passwords. It's like if you have any encryption, anything like that.
Okay, yeah. I was worried because I thought you said the search warrant hasn't gone through yet.
No, the search warrant is done for the house and for any electronics that you have.
Okay.
The search warrant to get into the phone, it's a separate warrant, but it's for a forensic analysis. So in other words, like I can look at whatever I want right now on your phone, but I'm not an FBI forensic examiner. So typically I don't,
Yeah.
I don't really look at it. My knowledge is limited to this program called Cellbrite. I can dump everything that's in your phone, but then I got 15,000 files that I need to look at, and I really don't feel like looking at that. And so the FBI will actually just parse it all out. So if you could tell me that would be great.
Yeah.
What is it?
2987
2987.
00.
Okay. And we'll check it before you leave just to make sure. And again, it just is what it is. I know that people have this stuff. Sometimes with the facial recognition, it can be a little bit more tricky. Typically, I don't like sending people to jail just so we can get into their phone. But I appreciate you telling me. It just is what it is on that. I mean, I've been playing this game long enough that I know if I don't put that in there, then we end up with issues. So that being said, can you kind of tell me in your own words of why you do this?
I don't really have an answer.
This has been going on for a while, right?
It's on and off.
Okay.
I'll look at myself and go, I'm disgusted, and then a few months later I'll re-download or re-find some stuff and look at it and then delete it all and then
And you're actually in the majority. People say the same thing. Usually there's self-image stuff that's going on, and you don't need to tell me about your past, but if it gives you any comfort, I don't know at this point if anything really will, but I can just tell you that typically what I find is that is a pretty common answer, is that people just don't like something about their past, and this is a way to just kind of do self-injury, if that makes sense. Usually are you going to like chat rooms to have stuff get shared? Like, how do you get it?
I can tell you the way that I got majority of it was through a user on Snapchat.
Okay. Is it somebody that you know?
No, I don't know them in person.
I'm going to throw something out here because of something that you just said. I know what your history looks like, but you're not on probation or parole. I'm not promising you that this will happen, Armand. I'm just telling you that it's something that I've discussed with the district attorney's office before, and we'll have to parse out a little bit more about exactly what's happening with this person on Snapchat. But at some point, there is a producer of this stuff. We've talked about it before. If you're not the producer, you're getting it from, in drug terms, a drug dealer. But at some point, there's a cocaine farm. At some point, there's a methamphetamine laboratory. At some point, there's a marijuana grow. And in child porn, at some point, there's children being victimized. And so you're telling me that the majority of stuff that you get is from a user on Snapchat?
Yes.
Keep in mind that this is not something that I could promise you, but it is something that I'd be willing to explore. If in any way, working through you, we could make you a confidential informant and get it so that while you're being recorded, because this is all stuff that's done virtually, I'm guessing this person can't see you during the thing, and if it would affect how the case is viewed at a prosecution level, is that something you would be willing to do to help us to move to somebody who's producing this stuff? So in other words, in the drug world, the way it works, I bust you with some methamphetamine, but you're clearly not a dealer, and I tell you, hey, look, I'm willing to say you're not really who we're looking for, in exchange for you agreeing to work with me to try to go after who we are looking for. Is that something you'd even be interested in?
Yeah.
Okay. That's something we can explore later. I can tell you, so that we're upfront about what's going to happen today, unless you tell me something that really throws me off, my plan isn't to send you to jail today. My plan is to do what's called to process you and release you pending charges, which means all these kinds of things that we're discussing. I'm going to take this whole story, I'm going to package it up in a report. Detective Martinez will help do all this stuff. He was there with me at the search warrant. And this gets presented to the district attorney's office. They're going to ask my opinion, not only on you, they're going to look at your history, fair or unfair, but also your willingness to potentially help us put people who actively victimize children on the front end away. So I'm hoping that maybe that's something that could help you in this case. In terms of one of the things that the FBI lab is going to do is they're going to look at, how long have you had this phone?
This specific phone,
Yeah.
Not that long. I broke my last one in...
Months?
I don't think it's even been a full month.
Okay. So you've had this phone for about a month.
Yeah.
Same telephone number with the other one?
Huh?
Same telephone number with the
Yeah.
other one? Okay.
All right. Well, and so I'm guessing that anything that was on your old phone that got broke, you've downloaded from the cloud. That's how you recovered
Yeah.
all your stuff. Okay. You don't use any keep safe. You don't use any photo vaults, anything like that. All right. So you've had this phone for about a month. In that time that you've had the phone, how many times do you think that you have gotten anything new from anybody?
I haven't.
Okay, so everything that you have on your phone that you've gotten since this new phone has been stuff that was previously. So you haven't interacted with this guy on Snapchat to get any. Have you shared it? So in other words, have you gone on to any kind of site and gotten into a chat room so that you can not save pictures but see pictures? Usually you have to share a picture to get in so that you can see this. Have you done anything like that?
No.
Okay. Does anybody else know that you're doing this?
No.
So you have a child, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And does your child live at home with you? I'm not planning on taking your child, nothing crazy like that.
No.
So there was mail and stuff in your house for a female. Does she live with you?
What was the name on it?
Was it Vivian?
No, last name starts with the letter V. Christmas
Davis?
card.
Yes.
Yes. She does not live with me.
Okay. So does anyone live with you?
No.
Okay. So everything that's in your trailer belongs to you.
Yeah.
And the stuff that's for a child, I'm guessing that's for when your child visits, when you have some kind of visitation and stuff like that. Don't get angry about this. There are people who do this. Have you ever taken any kind of inappropriate pictures of your child?
I know I have one of him in the bathtub. I don't know if that counts as inappropriate.
Not unless you did it for specific sexual reasons. Did
No.
you touch him? Did you make him touch himself? Anything
No.
like that? Okay. And that'll be in your phone, so it'll look different.
It might still be there. It might have been deleted with the whole transfer.
Okay. And just the one picture of him without clothes on? And I'm asking again, lots of people take pictures of their kids without clothes on, and very rarely does it rise to the level of being illegal. It's super common. My parents did it. Parents just do it. Not really sure why we do it, but they do it.
Yeah.
Going back to what we were talking about illegal photos, are you sure there's one? There's no chance there's 30.
I think there might be one.
But maybe there's not even
two,
one.
but there probably isn't any.
And nothing, I mean, even though a child in a bathtub is not sexual in and of itself,
Yeah.
there's nothing that, if you looked at that picture and it wasn't your child, you wouldn't go, man, why are you taking pictures of that? That's freaking weird. And how old's your son?
He just turned 3.
Okay. How often do you have him?
Sunday and Monday.
Okay. Are those your days off?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and also to put your mind at ease, I know that your employer knows that you went with the sheriff's office. However, I don't disclose anything to anybody. So if your boss asks me what this is all about, this is completely on you to decide what you want to tell them. If you want to tell them that you forgot to pay a ticket, whatever. That's completely on you on how you want to handle that. Same goes with, family members, things like that. I don't have anything to do with any of that. One thing that I will look at, though, and it's because I have to, is I will look at social services, not to report what's going on with you necessarily, but to make sure there aren't any complaints with social services about you. Are there any complaints with social services about you?
No.
Has your child's mother ever said that anything's going on that she thought was weird? Have there been any police reports where anybody has said that they think that Armand is doing something inappropriate with their child?
No.
Okay.
At least as far as I am aware, no.
Okay. Well, I think you'd know because, you'd be having a discussion like this with detectives most likely. You have anything for him?
Yeah, I do. You can see how well versed he is at this, and just kind of learn stuff,
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think you've been doing this in your life? How old are you now?
I'm 23.
How many years do you think you've been into this type of viewing?
I don't know because I go on and off.
How far back do you think you first started?
High school.
So about what age?
Like 16.
What got you going on it?
I don't know.
There's got to be something underlying, just like looking at kids. What?
I don't know how I got started or
Mhm.
anything, but I know that once I did start looking at it, it was kind of that I would go back and forth between I'll look at it, but I won't.
What about your boys, your friends? You guys get together
No.
and look at it? What about in Adams County or Thornton or anywhere like that? Many people you hook up with and share and talk in person?
No.
Do you do any of these, do your own recording live?
No.
Nothing like that? Any of the people nearby? Anything like that? How long have you been living at the place you're at now?
3 or 4 years.
How did you end up there?
It's my grandma's old trailer.
Okay.
When she passed away, I bought it from my aunt.
Oh, okay. And is there any particular reason you chose that specific trailer?
It was available to me at a better price than anywhere else in the Denver area.
Did it have anything to do with the school behind it or anything?
No.
Okay.
I actually didn't even know that there was a school there until
Right.
I saw the speed limit signs every time I
Okay.
drive through there.
All right. I don't have anything else. I was just curious as to how you think, what made you become involved in it. You know, just, you're human. You have emotions, you have feelings, you have thoughts.
So I'll kind of lay out typically how this goes, Armand, so that you know. And I'll give you a business card before we leave today. What will happen from here is I'm going to need to take your fingerprints and your photograph. I know that you've been through that before. And then kind of what I told you before is that this is, on the front end, it seems like this might be an open and shut kind of case. However, because people don't always tell me the truth, and I'm not saying you're not, but what happens from here is I do write another search warrant, and that search warrant is separate from this. If you look through this specifically talks about your phone number, your house, all that stuff. But when I get into a more in-depth forensic, they literally will go through your Fitbit data or your the times of logging in, logging off, all kinds of stuff that really I don't need, but it's very intrusive. And I'm not telling you that to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm just trying to explain why the next piece takes so long. It takes me about a month to 2 months to get it back from the FBI. So a lot of people get really nervous because I may release you today, and you might not hear from me unless you call me and ask me if there's an update, which if I haven't called you, there probably isn't, but you can feel free to call me. It would not be weird. I don't think that it would be outside of crazy for it to be late spring, early summer before I can tell you, okay, this is where it's at. Because it takes, sometimes up to 2 months to do the analysis. But we got to write reports after this. We've got to submit this to the district attorney. We have to have a judge sign the order to get in to do a forensic analysis of your phone. And it'll be your phone's, it'll be the other one too. And that can take like a month. So then we're at 3 months. And then it comes back, and then I have to get that analysis, and then I have to run it through the district attorney's office for prosecution. I go, okay, this is what was said, this is what we found, this is how he presented to me, this is, in the case that you help us with the Snapchat case, this is what he's done to kind of help mitigate this, to show that he's willing to work with law enforcement, whatever that may influence this case as a mitigator or something that makes it worse. And then it will get all wrapped up. Then that has to go through the district attorney's office. They'll come up with any charges, if charges at all, against you, and then a judge has to sign that. At that point, a warrant would be issued for your arrest. And typically what I like to do, as long as people have been cooperative, what you have, is that I will give you a call. And I'll say, okay, here's the deal, Armand. You're being charged with, if I had to guess in this case, based on what I know, it's going to be the possession of child pornography. I'll tell you, hey, you got a bond amount of this much. Call around, see if you can get a bondsman, and then let's set up a time for either later today or tomorrow. Come and turn yourself in. If you want to bond out, we'll make it so you can bond out, and you'll get a court date. Basically like getting a ticket. I really don't like to surprise people with cops showing up at your work or whatever, but I didn't know you before today. Yeah. And unfortunately, trust me, I'm kind of a gun nut myself, but knowing what you've got for weapon systems and stuff, I don't want to just also knock on people's door that I don't know and be like, hey, I'm here to talk to you about child porn. It can not go too well. Is there, and this is kind of a pointless question because, to be honest with you, I'm not going to go back. But at some point, this could become an issue because I'm not the only person that was there today. There are federal agencies that are involved, to include the ATF and stuff like that. They're going to ask me. It's not hard to go through NIBIN and figure out what you've purchased for guns unless you've bought it off. But do you have any guns that you would be worried about? Do you have any short barrel shotguns, short barrel rifles? Do you have any suppressors? Do you have any fully automatic weapons without tax stamps, anything like that?
No. Everything that I have is legal.
Okay. Is there anything else in your safe that is electronic in nature? Any storage devices, any phones, any computers, tablets, anything like that? Okay. So I saw that you have 9mm ammo. I saw a magazine for what looks to be like looks like a semi-automatic pistol. You have shotgun ammo. I think you got like 12. I'd have to go look back at the pictures. But how many guns do you have, roughly? And I'm not taking them away.
I know.
Okay.
I have 3 9mm handguns.
Okay.
One .22 revolver,
Okay.
a .22 semi-automatic rifle.
Like a 1022, what kind of?
22.
But I mean, do you know what the model is?
Ruger.
Okay, so like a Ruger 1022 probably.
Yeah.
Has a little rotary magazine, goes in the bottom.
Yeah.
You can have 10 rounds, or you can have like a banana clip on it, or you can have a big ass rotary clip on it. Okay.
I have a 20 gauge and a 12 gauge.
Okay.
And then I have my Weatherby 257 hunting rifle.
Okay. Have you modified any of those weapons?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Aside from putting scopes and slings on.
Yeah,
No.
that's fine. I got to ask you those questions because the ATF dudes will ask me a bunch of questions about, like, well, what was there? SWAT guys will want to know because it kind of justifies. I think that Americans in general just don't realize that lots of people have guns. And so anytime we go into a warrant, because an officer got shot on a very similar warrant to this, so I always have to brief back the SWAT commander and go, hey, the guy was totally cool about telling me what guns he had. This is what he has. This is how he does it. It's for self-protection and hunting.
One other one, I do have my friend's Bursa 380 in there as well.
Okay. Everything you've bought legally?
Yes.
Okay. Usually you go through stores or for private sales?
Yeah.
Both? Stores usually?
Stores.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you letting me know. I know that that's a dumb question, but I'll get spanked if I don't at least ask, because they'll want to know.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. We'll go in. We probably have like 20 minutes left. I'm going to give you my business card. I'll let you know how to get in touch with me. Doing the fingerprints and photographs literally takes like 10-15 minutes, and then you're out. The one thing that we can't do, weirdly, we drive you here, but we can't drive you back, because when you came in, you're being detained. When you leave, you're free to go. So it's an issue. However, I will let you use the phone out here, so you can call to get a ride, you can call to get an Uber, you can call whatever you need.
Can't get my phone back at all?
No, because that's evidence until it goes through the forensic.
Great.
So you won't be able to get that. And there's nothing I can do about that. Even if I wanted to give you back, I've already explained to you, like, I got to send it off. But, I mean, you also live, like, 10-minute walk from here, if worst case came to bad. Does that Ford Ranger drive?
No.
Okay. So that would explain that. How do you get to work? Do you have a different car?
Nissan Xterra.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. But I just don't want to lie to you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be like, dude, I thought you were giving me a ride. We can't. It's a policy thing. All right. So let me get this turned off. The time is 12:24.
Yes.
And then we'll walk you over to this other room. Just give us like 1 or 2 minutes, and just to get some gloves and stuff, and then we'll get this one.
I'm going to hang tight in here at the door.
No, you can come.